One. We live.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Operation Hustle. Again, this whole month is going to be about ancient Egypt, and each week is going to be a different topic. Last week, we kind of loosely discussed fun facts about Egypt that we've learned about in documentaries or just things in books that we've learned about Egypt. This week, we're going to start to really narrow it down and focus on civilizing ancient Egypt and what that looked like, things that they ate, who were the leaders, how they traded, and that type of stuff, agriculture and what that looked like.
Egypt before Egypt.
Yeah,
Egypt before Egypt.
There you
Yes.
go. Fancy words. Dumb words. Egypt before Egypt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Caveman talk.
Ta-da.
Caveman talk.
I'll dumb it down for you. These two will smarten it up. That's how we operate at Operation Hustle.
Okay, so what do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about their food first? Do we want to talk about the main?
Well, I think we want to compare, all right, so when these settlers came in, they didn't have much. They're saying that they kind of, I guess, maybe created this farming. They don't know, if they created farming or if they learned it from someone else. So it's kind of cool to think about maybe, how we started before America was America.
I think it is. I think there are a lot of correlations, and it should be really interesting to delve into.
Yeah. So,
I mean, for me, I think the interesting thing is thinking about like you said, who taught them how to do this? Because I read a little bit on Egypt before they were different kingdoms. The way that they would actually trade is they would the people who knew how to hunt and kill, make food, would trade their hunt, whatever they killed it.
That's a caveman word.
Whatever
people.
they killed
it.
They would trade it for agriculture, right? So again, I mean, the interesting thing is, where did the people who learned, the people who knew how to hunt, where did they learn that? And the people that learned how to agriculture, where did they learn that?
I think the hunt was probably instinct, and the agriculture was probably visualized or seen. They probably
but how would they know which plants to agriculture? That's the crazy part.
To agriculture?
Yeah. Yeah.
They killed it. They agricultured
They killed it. They agricultured it.
Oh my Jesus!
Listen, some of my caveman's about to come out if this Mike doesn't stop limp dicking me. I'm getting really upset.
So listen, we have this is the first time we're testing out these mics, so don't get mad.
And again, the cool thing is at that time there was no sort of trade system in the sense of money, like dollar printing. None of that
barter,
shit
baby, barter
existed. Right, bartering.
Yeah.
So why did we ever go to a coin system? But anyways, back to Egypt.
Government. Structure.
Yeah. So this was before any sort of money actually existed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get to think, if you barter system, if you didn't really have a skill, you're fucked. Yeah. You're not bartering anything. You're like, I have nothing. And they're like,
I think
okay.
that was important because here's the thing that we're missing and lacking in today's society is that most people want to just find jobs that are just comfy or they're not doing anything, or these at-home jobs, or sorry if this is you, but many of you log on and don't actually work.
Ooh,
so
got
there's
those
the
fan
truth.
Mouses going. I've seen the TikToks.
So exactly, and that's unfortunate because back then you actually had to need to possess a skill to survive at all in society, right? Natural selection, the weak would die off or would not, be able to keep up with society. So I think that's the thing that we're missing now is we all need to learn a skill and find our purpose, because essentially that's what made these people really find purpose in their lives and keep driving to keep going forward, is possessing a skill and then perfecting that skill.
Yeah, and for reference here, because I know we haven't stated it, we're talking about essentially 5,000 to 3,000 BCE. That's before, the first king of, or the first pharaoh of Egypt. What was his name? Meme?
Menes, I think. Menes.
Mayonnaise. His name was
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
I like it. Yeah.
Yes, caveman talk.
Miracle Whip.
Yeah.
I hate both.
Right. So, and I think that was even.
I
I think that was even before the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
So this is before the construction of pyramids. So wow, crazy to think. Where did the first person get the idea of that architecture? Where did that first person get the idea to even build something so big?
Aliens.
Yeah.
I mean,
before we delve into that, I think we should.
Right, we should.
We
We're
should
getting so
attack
off
the
topic.
subject, right?
Yeah. So staying on the topic. So we
here.
talked about the fact that Kumats.
No, we
Here,
were
I'll
talking
delve
about.
into that because
Okay.
that's fun. That's
Cool.
a fun fact.
Let Ollie dive into that.
He knows all about it. We
Okay.
just learned about it 5 seconds ago.
5 seconds ago. Cram sesh. So essentially before Egypt was known as Egypt, which is actually a derivative of a Greek word, Egypto. It was actually known by the people that were actually in Egypt at the time as Kumat. And Kumat was in reference to it basically meant black land, and that was in reference to the floodlands of the Nile, which provided fertility to the soil, as the silt from the flooded Nile would wash onto the surrounding area, and then they could essentially start using agriculture to provide themselves with the means of food. And then in reference to the desert, they called it, I believe it's on there, Derrida.
Yep, it looks like.
I always fuck that up. Deseret.
Yeah, my spelling's terrible too. So if he's reading it wrong, it's because of me.
Yeah, so it's Deseret, and that basically means red soil. So the way that they, differentiated parts of land was in the reference to the fertility of that land.
Right, and so I read a little fun fact too, and I now, because Akhenaten was a really, really old pharaoh, but they believed that kingship was greatly associated with gods, and they worship their kings as if they were associated with the god Horus. Pharaohs, right? They called them pharaohs, but kingship was associated with godly beings, and one of their deities that was associated with kings was Horus. So I find that so odd. So it's like, in my mind, I'm still trying to figure out if they thought the king was embodied in Horus's body. That's where I'm confused about their idea of kingship and these deities and stuff, and the way that they viewed kings. Like, why were they considered godly beings? Because they had the power to really endure all the stress and, overwhelming responsibilities. And who decided would be a king? All that stuff is very...
It was bloodline oriented. I know that much. I'm not exactly certain of the correlation between God and their pharaohs, but I do know that it was bloodline oriented, and that's why you saw a lot of inbreeding in that society. But
who was the very first bloodline? That's the real question.
Menes, right?
No, I know, but where did you read up on Menes and
mayonnaise?
Did you read up on how he became the first bloodline? Did somebody just say, "Okay, your bloodline is the one"?
No, I was studying the hunter-gatherer agricultural.
He probably killed everyone and took over.
Because we were pre-dynastic.
Okay, so back then it was all about whoever really had the guts to kill everybody and show
what we were
brutality.
Studying there was 12 people that came into these little settlements. That's it.
Yeah, 12 families in each settlement.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there just wasn't a lot of people then.
Super small.
Yeah.
They were just surviving. All right, this is a good settlement.
Nor form of structure. This is it's. I don't even think it was necessarily about. While other people may have been a factor to consider whenever it came to survival, I think that they were probably in such a state that they were probably more worried about exposure, or dying to exposure, dying to disease, dying to other animals at this point, because they really weren't that settled in. I think they had a couple arrowheads that they did find that they'd been using for hunting, but I'm certain the world was fucking these people up more than they were fucking themselves up.
Oh yeah,
most likely.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, so we had the 4 main groups of settlers. I can't read your handwriting, Justin. Is this F-A-U-M?
Fayum.
So we only had 4 groups of settlers at the time. It was Fayum.
Wait.
Right?
I have a request. Can you do it in an Egyptian accent?
Ooh.
I don't even have an Egyptian accent.
What do they sound like, Ali?
Middle
Eastern or Arabic.
Ali? Read them off. I know you got an accent.
Uh-oh.
He's good at accents sometimes.
Barande. Badarian.
Fayum.
Nagada.
Nice.
Nagada.
Yeah,
that means
there you
nothing
go.
to me.
Maybe.
Explain it.
So, now, were these the names of the families, or where did they come up with these names for these group of settlers? Do they mean something?
Names of the tribes.
The 4 main tribes.
So here's another cool question. Did people at this time even have first, middle, last names? How did that work? Or was it just first names?
No clue. Maybe they called each other Uga.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? And what did they farm and hunted? So, big economic agriculture for them was, and I read this too as well, was wheat and barley. And then we have crocodiles, goats, hippos, sheep, catfish, turtles, fish, and cattle. And you said cereal?
Cereal.
Yeah, cereals.
Yeah, cereals. So
I was just having the TV, but it just went out.
TV went out.
For no reason.
Anyways,
Okay.
the show goes on.
Lucky Charms, but
Yeah,
Low
they didn't
grade,
have
low
sugar
grade.
in
Yeah, they
cereal.
had Captain Crunch, Lucky
Think
Charms.
more.
Margaret-
Has anybody
no,
ever
not
ate
Captain
the
Crunch.
cereal Grape Nuts? Have you?
Yeah.
How about these nuts?
Okay.
Yeah, that was their knockoff brand.
I'm sorry, that was
There you
I
go.
definitely set myself up.
Yes,
But
you did.
the
Back in
grape
Kumon.
nuts is like, it's like the plain Miller brand type of cereal, right? So that's kind of what I would imagine that their cereals tasted like. They were not entitled. They were not eating Lucky Charms with whole milk. I don't even think they probably understood how to
I
make
don't
milk
know.
at this point.
Grape nuts were pretty sugary. They tasted pretty good. They probably just had fucking water.
Water.
Now river water. With
There you go.
Parasites.
The best.
Do you think they even boiled it at that point in time, or they didn't know to?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know who's to know what they actually had.
Yeah. The only
All this shit is like disappeared under the water or under, it's like buried in the dirt. And we're like, oh, this is from 5000 BC.
The only artifacts that were actually found, according to our most recent research, 15-minute cram session, was essentially 2 arrowheads. One was stone-based.
And a flint, right?
Flint knife.
Flint knife.
2 arrowheads. One was stone-based and one was bone-based. And then they also had a woven basket, which is how they used to like prove that they had, managed to delve into the realm of agriculture because it was designed for storing seed, and they, correlated it to the southern cradle of Mesopotamia, cradle of humanity, for those who, have read it from the Christian culture or from, modern Judeo-Christianity references. And so they were able to draw that correlation. And then they also had plowing tools. So that was pretty much the
Plowing tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would assume they used like the cattle to maybe pull the plowing tools.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows? Like I said, who fucking
They
really
did say that
actually
they
knows?
domesticated cattle, and they weren't from the land of Africa where they, had originated on or were bordering.
Yeah.
They bordered Africa, Asia, and Europe. But pretty much all of their livestock had been imported from that cradle of Mesopotamia. So like from the cattle to the sheep to the goats.
And they also imported stuff too that I thought was interesting. Listening to our little cram session, they imported palm trees. They didn't even have palm trees. Like, to think that they were importing stuff 5,000 years ago is crazy. Like,
what did they really fucking have?
Yeah, what did they have? And were they having animals import this stuff and like put it on their back? Like, I'm trying to imagine what this looked like, because even just thinking about the pyramids, we still make many guesses on how many people we think it actually took to build it. There's so many different theories out there. I read that King Menes, after him, it was the first pyramids built, and they said that it took 100,000 men, they believe, for 20 years straight to build the first pyramid.
Dang.
I mean, at that point, how did we go from a small civilization to 100,000 men? You have to think, and people go, oh my God. And I'm not saying I agree or I'm enabling incest here. Not at all. But they had to at that point because, you only have so many people when you only have these small tribes.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, yes. If people die off and get sick, you only have so many partners to breed with.
Are you familiar with the story of Mesopotamia?
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't really heard that story in a really long time.
Yeah. So essentially, it's they say that humanity was down to a small group of essentially 10,000 people at one point in time. So we're all descendants of those 10,000 people from the cradle of humanity, aka Mesopotamia. And from there, we've branched out and we've explored the world, and now we're into our current society. So our genetic pool really only comes from about 10,000 people.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
We all intertwine.
Right. So Egypt's borders, just so a little geographic lesson here, if you didn't know where Egypt is. Egypt's borders is Africa, Asia, and Europe.
Shit everywhere.
What?
Don't worry about
Okay, so anyways, we're talking about Egypt's borders now. So Africa, Asia, and Europe. And it's very interesting just how brave they were in exploring the land that they had, and going up these rivers, and understanding that they needed to make a boat to be able to get in the river. And I'm pretty sure, did they make canoes? Did you look that up? Was that the first thing that they made?
I didn't look that up.
Okay.
No, they had those baskets though. That's how they figured out they were like farmers.
Yeah.
What were those things? Those
I can't remember the name of them.
they're like grain woven baskets.
Yeah.
So that's where they're like, they're farmers. They had grain.
And the really crazy part is then,
Oh, shit
and
in the dirt.
I really hate to bring this up right now in such a very sensitive time, but it is the truth. If you've ever watched the Disney version of Moses,
I never seen it.
You need to now. When babies had deformities or things wrong with them, they would just leave them. They would leave them out in the wild to die.
It's too much of a risk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too
dude,
much
you
of a
gotta-
risk, too much of a liability, and that's the way that they saw it. So there was no emotion involved. It was all right, I don't this at the
tribe
time
suffers because of this.
Right, the tribe suffers, and so it's like it's thinking about the greater good of the humankind. Is this going to help us, or is this going to drag us down? And so they put baby Moses. I don't know if because baby Moses had something wrong with him when he was a baby, or if it was just, hey, we have too many babies. This is a liability. We don't know how we're going to feed the baby, or maybe that particular family was starving, and then the mother could not give the nutrients to the baby. But they put the baby in the basket, and baby Moses floats down the river and makes his way to the kingdom of the pharaoh, where he ends up getting adopted. So very just interesting fun fact about the way Egypt worked and how they worked in ancient times with children that had disabilities or deformities or things wrong with them.
They fucking murk your ass. You're dead. Goodbye.
They basically just abandon. They abandoned.
Unfortunately, they didn't have anything for him, so it was like, all right, this weak person is only gonna fuck us.
Yeah. Well, the thing is
unfortunately,
essentially when you're at that level of humanity, when you don't have a civilization to fall back on, you don't have universal health care, you don't have like all these different forms of like government and safety nets in place. Your safety, your very life is on. It's like hanging by a thread at all points in time. Yeah. So literally, like the difference between these people surviving and dying at certain points must have been, hey, either we kill something tonight or we're starving for the next week and we're probably not going to make it out alive. So imagine if you had like, some asshole that, he's just limping around, stumbling through the woods and he scares off all the prey.
Ivor the Great, dude.
I'd kill that fucker too. I'd be like, it's me or you.
Ivor the
Quit
boneless.
limping,
That's what he
motherfucker.
was.
Right. Well, and then I think too, they finally got to a point where that's why you need to watch the Vikings, because they literally leave Ivor out. His dad leaves him out to die in the middle of the woods because not only did he have a cleft lip, I think he did as a baby. Right?
No,
that was Ivor's child.
Killed his kid.
Yeah, that was Ivor's child. But Ivor had no legs. He was like boneless. He had a deformity, and his dad left him out in the wild. But we're getting off topic, anyways.
Gotta crawl the ball, baby.
I think at what point, I don't know, I can't read your notes here. Did they realize that they needed to start storing grain? Was this because they realized that there was different seasons and that they might be have different seasons where droughts would happen and they wouldn't get as much food?
That's the only real logical explanation.
Yeah.
When the Nile was started to not flow and, they experienced drought, right?
Well, they were talking about the flooding, too, like how the flooding of the Nile would create this really fertile land.
Yeah.
There was two different lands, like, what were they called?
There was Dereshit and Kuman.
Yeah. Yep, Kumat.
And the Kumat was the black land, and that's where, like, when the Nile flooded, it would create this really fertile soil. Mm-hmm. And then the other one, what the hell was this? Desert.
Essentially, it's desert.
It was like desert, but
dry land.
That's due to
red land.
No, the soil's garbage. You ain't growing shit in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's where they decided to set up camp. They decided to make their civilization was the land that wouldn't get flooded, right? So
no.
They wanted the ones that flooded because that was the fertile land.
That was the only way to make food.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they didn't want to be far from where they were like producing food.
Yeah,
they wanted
the Nile
to be on
was
the
a really
land.
big part of the agriculture. That's
black is life, red is death.
Right.
Ooh.
Interesting.
It is. It's really interesting. And these motherfuckers were alive a long time ago when they didn't have anything. Liars. They had everything. I think they had more than us.
I do think they had a lot of different things that we don't even know about. I mean, it just makes no sense that we are that, like I say this all the time, we're just that selfish of human beings that we truly think that we're the only humankind that has ever had all these different things that we have in our society now. I'm not sure that they have iPhones, but I do think they had different types of tools that maybe we still haven't yet to find yet.
They had these weird little bags in there and a bunch of different pictures on these fucking tombs and stuff. I don't see one here, but and there's a lot of different pictures.
It's called the ankar. It's ANKAR. Don't really quote me on that spelling. It may be ANKR, but I think it's ANKAR, and it looks like
dude, they holding a little bag.
A cross with a little loop on the top, like a keyhole on top of the cross instead of the cross continuing up. And it was very interesting because
it's a scepter of sorts, right?
It's a necklace, so it's supposed to go.
No, this was a bag, dude. This one was a bag.
Some of them held it. Some of them held it, right? And some of the hieroglyphics, you can see these pharaohs holding this little ankar, whatever they call it. And some of them are necklaces.
Well, I'm fairly certain King Tut and his sarcophagi has one of those scepters across his body. He's holding it right here, and on the other side, he's holding essentially a tassel.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know, but they were basically what we watched is it wasn't only in ancient Egypt that this bag thing was in a picture. It was all over the world. they kept finding these inscriptions and these like cave drawings with the same fucking little bag. It was their iPhone back.
So
in the day.
it was kind of like each.
Done.
Well, I don't
My
know.
phone, baby.
They believe it was something that helped these particular extraterrestrials time travel and help these civilizations. So in different ancient civilizations, they each had some sort of little bag, right, or little thing that they were
that
holding.
angel dust,
here's,
baby.
here's the counter argument to the alien argument. Okay,
Here we go.
everyone needs a bag.
Yeah. Bro.
Everyone from every culture needs a bag to carry coins, to carry water, to carry food, carry like anything you need to carry. You put it in
Secure
a
the
bag, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
It is
but
true.
there was something particular associated with this ankar, that
It was
ha-
important.
Yes, it was very important to them. They had a lot of rituals around this. Only certain people were allowed to be buried with these things. Like if you were just a regular Egyptian, you would not have one of these.
Yeah, but they have
Okay.
yet to, from my understanding, they've yet to actually find one of those bags. They only see the pictures.
Yeah,
of it.
they've yet to find any of those little bags or.
Maybe they were made out of cattle skin or goat skin, and so they deteriorated over
Yeah.
time.
Maybe the aliens came back, got the bags, and they said, "Fuck this." They don't need
Maybe.
these bags no more.
They're like, this is Gucci, baby.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
We're taking
bro.
that back.
That
We
Fendi,
can't let
doggy.
that go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Birkin bags, dog.
Well,
Fuck.
Who knows? But so yeah, this was a very long time ago. They did learn how to farm from others. We were just not really sure still where they learned how to do that.
Well, they don't know. They said, did they learn it from others, or did they invent this?
Well, think it's do or die. You see
Well, that's
plants
it. You either
growing.
eat or
you
you
see
die.
where they grow.
Yeah.
You see how they grow.
So what do
see
you
when
do?
they
Do you get the
grow.
weakest link to try it? Hey, you over there limping, try this clover. We're not sure what it's gonna do.
Hey, Gimpy.
Yeah.
That's
Eat this berry.
horrible.
Yeah. Or you
Wow.
or you watch similar animals and see what they eat.
I bet you
There you
that
go.
sounds that sounds more right, because at that point, why risk humans? You need more people to continue the civilization and to continue on breeding. So yeah, they probably did do a lot of animal watching. So in a sense,
what else
5,000
they did?
years ago, they were doing their own sort of lab testing. They were,
Also-
ancient scientists.
Think about
Hypotheses.
scientists, but think
They were.
about what you would eat if you were starving.
Anything, dude. I'd pick up a piece of dog shit and eat it. If I was
Just
hungry.
no. Listen, don't even think. You don't even have to go there. Just go watch an episode of Bear Grylls and watch
Oh,
him suck the
God.
water out of camel dung
What?
I've seen it. That man drinks his own piss.
for fun.
What?
He definitely has a fetish. At this point, he's every episode he's like,
obsessed.
I've got to drink my own piss now.
Oh,
I
shit.
don't want to. let me emphasize. I really don't want to drink my. Oh, delicious! I don't want to drink this.
It is true though. He's done it plenty of
All
times.
right, we are off topic again.
Now, that's on topic.
But it's kind of funny because when you think about it, and I say this all the time to clients, right? Just because we love to have fun conversations in here. We love to talk about ancient shit, different theories. We're very open, expansive people. But when it comes to like I just said, these ancient people, in a sense, were like ancient scientists, right? How do we truly know that these words that scientists have come up with now, these modern scientists, things like the brain, the heart, how do we really know if that's what it's called? I mean, the Egyptians called it something different. It's whatever we interpret it. So that's crazy when you think
that's
about
just a
that.
matter
But
of
then it
language.
takes away the credibility of all professionals.
It's language.
Not necessarily, because it's just a way of identifying that's been accepted by the general culture. It's not, because it doesn't take away the credibility because it still exists, right? It's not like the word now negates the existence of that object.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of these fucking cave drawings and inscriptions that they find are scratches on a rock, and they're like, it says the world is doomed in 15 days. And I'm like, yo, all right, listen. I don't know who read this, but this is a couple fucking marks on a rock, and it doesn't make sense at all.
So it's the petroglyphs.
So-
So I hear what you're saying, but you have to understand what they're not really telling you is that where they've gotten this information is actually from some of these civilizations that have continued on for generations and generations from these areas. Like they'll go into these, Amazon rainforests and find these different tribes. And they used to tell stories then. And then, of course, you're going to have people that are skeptics that are like, oh, just like telephone stories get misconstrued, and so does mistranslations. You can say that about translating text. You can say that about people's opinions. Everything is objective, right? So I'm starting to get to a point where I agree with Ollie. Everything is objective at this point.
Let's play a game of telephone real quick.
How do we do it? What's telephone?
I tell
Telephone?
you something.
Yeah,
You tell Ollie
but
something.
you have to say it where I can't hear it.
Ollie
Like, you have to
tells me
whisper it.
of what I told you, and we see if it's the same thing I said.
Exactly.
All right. I think it'll be funny because I'm smart. I remember stuff for the most part.
Oh.
Wait. Maybe we should go in the reverse order.
Ooh.
Right.
All right, so I'm still not understood of what this game is. So I tell you
That's
something.
exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I mean.
Okay.
I
He
tell
literally.
you one thing,
So-
and then she relays the story to you.
Come up with one sentence. It has to be like 10 words
All right,
at least.
this is fun.
And
Let's
then
do it
tell
twice.
her, and then
Have
she
him
tells
start
you.
it. Tell me, then I'll tell you. You'll tell it back to him. We'll see if it's what he said, and then we'll go
Exactly.
the opposite direction. Right?
And
So
yeah.
how about
10
something?
words.
It has to be about Egypt.
Yeah.
Keep it relatable.
You have to
Something
whisper it
about
to her.
Egypt.
I have to whisper it.
Yeah, I can't
Whisper
hear
me sweet nothings.
That's pretty easy.
Come on, I know.
All right, so now I can say it out loud, right?
All right, yeah, say it out loud. So,
All right, Egyptians eat ass for lunch and dinner. Is that word for word?
that's word for word.
Okay.
See? Okay.
All
But
right.
there's
Now,
only 3 people.
Let's
You're right.
wait. No, let's
table
test.
of
Let's.
people.
Make it a
Wait.
longer 2 sentences.
Okay, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna tell Justin now.
All right, 2 sentences of this time.
I need to hear it one more time.
Of course. Wow, ladies and
Yo,
gentlemen, did
she
you hear
fucking
this?
is whispering. I can't hear a fucking word.
There's an art to the whisper. Less air, more volume.
Okay, close my ears.
What does it matter? What the fuck does it matter if she hears it? Akhenaten had a wife after TD, and she was fertile or something. Caveman. Lost.
Okay, that's not it. All repeat it.
Akhenaten had a wife, Nefertiti, and she was fertile.
No.
No? What was it?
Infertile. I don't fucking know. Like I said, I
Justin
couldn't
has
hear
a
fucking
horrible
word.
memory. What I said was, Akhenaten had a wife. Her name was Nefertiti, and she was the goddess of fertility.
There you go.
Okay.
So he missed the word
Exactly
goddess.
what I said,
Okay.
guys. That's perfect.
See? So this is how history gets misconstrued.
Yeah, dude. You get some dumbass fucking. Oh, I heard this. Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That little scribble means fucking dung dung. Like, how does this?
I
it
think
doesn't
you
make
hear
sense.
dung dung, Ali, and I hear the right things. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Horrible memory skills here.
That's not. First off, your speech was off. I
Where was
couldn't
our
hear
first
you.
date?
Mumbling.
Where was our first date?
What does it fucking matter?
Exactly. You can't even remember our first date.
Who gives a fuck?
He's like, where are we now?
He's like, where we were now?
The
Where are your
past is
feet?
gone.
Exactly. The past is the
The
past.
future is now. The present
Yeah,
is
it was
now.
500 BC.
That anniversary means
and,
nothing.
Yeah, 500 BC in one of these places. Poem. Mayonnaise.
Eventually. That's how we get there.
Miracle Whip.
History.
Exactly. So if you don't want to learn the real facts, tune in.
All right, so
Anyways.
from our live experiment here, you can see how things can get misconstrued very easily.
Yeah.
In matter
So
of seconds.
yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what one scientist had said, and here's another. I'm going to give you 2 examples. So one person said, and was this archaeologist or scientist? Who the fuck knows at this point? What does it matter? One of them said that back then, that's all they did. You have to think about the fact that now that we speak, we write, we tell stories, right? We take videos. If we were only telling stories, your memory would be a whole lot better. And also our diets were a lot different too. And they say that these people were consuming a lot of fish, and the omegas is what really helped them develop their brain. I can't say that that's the actual truth. I don't know. But it makes a little bit of sense in the fact that, our brains have been calcified over and over. We have all sorts of things introduced into our diet that we didn't now. So who's to say that their memory and their capacity to be able to repeat stories 100% the way they were, seen and told could have been a lot better, right? And that was the only way that they told stories. Like the Native Americans, their stories are passed down for generations to generations, and that's all they did.
Yeah, they have oral history.
Right, and they made petroglyphs, which was, like you said, just
Gotta
pictures.
be careful saying oral around.
Right,
Justin.
right. So they had these little pictures that weren't really like hieroglyphs, right? Because the Egyptians were the first to make a real alphabet where they made these hieroglyphs where you really understood what they were saying.
The Phoenician alphabet.
Right, right. So
Feces.
okay. Anyways, so back to what I was saying.
Feces.
I'll say another example. So, for instance, with the Jews, I watched a whole thing on the Torah, and they wanted to know how accurate it was that these people that are copying over the Torahs are exactly to a T. And they had a system. This guy had a really, really intricate system of, I forget, I'd have to rewatch it, of how he would read it.
Chop your fucking hand off if you fuck it up. Yeah.
But it was pretty serious. But they
you
had a
ain't fucking that
system
up, kid.
of reading the Torah to make sure that every thing was translated perfectly.
Listen, religious scholars since the dawn of time have been like fucking zealots, like those fucking priests that would like originally like write super finely every single like beginning letter of each page, and then like if they fucked up, they would like commit penance with a whip, and it's I'm sorry, I'm sorry,
that's
Jesus.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I put my leaf
That's
in the
what
wrong
they do.
spot.
I mean, I think when the Jew, like, you become an actual Jew, you have to read out of that book in Hebrew, and if you fuck it up, like, it's not good.
Have you ever been to a
I don't
bar
think you
mitzvah
get
or a bat mitzvah?
No, I have never.
I
I don't think they like you don't. They don't just give it to you because you messed up. one
really
word.
think you miss out on a lot of culture when you were younger.
We are
Yeah, dude,
we
I
are
lived in the
culturally
fucking hood.
insensitive and ignorant.
I got that hood culture.
So anyways, they do have to learn how to read out of the Torah, and that is a part. So I remember going to a bat mitzvah when I was younger. I still remember exactly who she is, and
And they snipped the tip, dog.
all right. Well, anyways, so they read it too. They don't just have to learn how to like memorize it. They read it, and they have to make sure that they like sound really on point when they say it too. And it's a very long process. Like, God, I remember sitting there for like an hour, maybe even longer before we got to party, and I was like, when the hell is the party?
She was reading that whole time.
Yeah. Have you ever been to one?
No.
No, it's very intense.
I don't plan on going.
I feel bad for them children. You must read this perfectly.
That's
or
like
you're
a
fucked. You get no cake.
birthday party for a 15-year-old. Is that when they do it?
Yeah, I think that's when they're 15.
They're
And yep,
turning 16 or something.
Yeah, I think I'm past that stage in my life.
You don't have
Hopefully.
it snipped?
Well,
What's
I don't have
up?
kids yet.
Oh my God.
Maybe one day when my kids have friends, then that's like I'll be like, oh, bat mitzvah. Okay, I'll see what's up.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It is very interesting. It's interesting because they have, just so many different rules to their religion. But it makes me wonder with Egypt, and that's kind of what I want to delve into next is their religion, is what, was different from their religion from like, other ancient religions that we know about, or civilizations, because they did believe in a lot of different deities. So I would like to do a little bit of, research on my own for next week's episode as to what those rituals look like. I only know it a little bit because Justin and I have watched so many different documentaries about different periods of time of Egypt. But I do know that they did have, thousands of different deities. But when did this start? Like when they first started civilizing Egypt, did either of you find out whether or not they had a religion at that point or no?
No, it was just those settlers. They came from like they said, Europe, Africa, and that other place.
Yeah.
So we know that they were
Middle East.
very, very focused on constellation. So my question is, when did they start? Because the pyramid aligns with the constellation. So when did they start, worshiping the constellations and stars? And how did that coincide with their deities? Did they think that these deities lived up there in the stars? That's kind of what I want to know.
Are you familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Sort of like physical needs.
English, please.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a pyramid.
Yeah.
Pyramid.
Yeah, everything's a pyramid. You look in the back of the
Everything's
dollar, pyramid with an eye.
You look at how all companies in the world operate. You look at our capitalist system. You're living at the bottom of the pyramid.
The food pyramid. Bam.
The money trickles up, trickles
You know
up.
another thing I noticed last night, and I have to just
The
say
food
this because I
pyramid
know this is
bullshit, but
right. It is
real.
bullshit.
The fuck?
I have to say this is random fact, but when they were showing, we were watching an Ancient Aliens episode last night, and they were showing like a zoom out of where DC is at, and they have this huge monument, and I've been to it, so I know, but it looks like an obelisk. And I was like, why does that look familiar? Why does that look familiar? And I was like, oh my God, it's exactly what the Egyptians used to do when they would put up these huge obelisks to let the rest of the civilization know that the pharaoh, and on these obelisks, they would put these hieroglyphics to state who was the pharaoh at the time,
They
so you
had those
knew.
in Rome.
Right.
everywhere.
They did. It was
So what is with these pyramid types? Like at the top is a tip. It is a mini
Well, it's
pyramid.
The monolith, I think it was called, not a whatever the fuck you call it.
They have
No,
one,
it's called an obelisk.
The Washington Monument, correct?
Yes, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
but
about.
That's the big, tall.
So what is it
straight up,
about
and
this
then pyramid at the
particular
top.
architecture that there's got to have some sort of energy, some sort of power, some sort of significance behind it? Because why do we just have one down in DC?
I think we're uniform creatures that recognize shapes and patterns, and we recognize a shape and pattern is like unique or has a certain level of power. I mean, even if you look at the structure of skyscrapers, they're all built in similar fashions, and I think they're built that way.
They're big,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you guys are calling those things.
Obelisks.
Yeah.
Obelisk.
But our world has like it has a structure, and I think we just have the capability of recognizing and implementing that structure.
I think.
But
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, not to cut you off.
no, I was just going to refer back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or Maslow. I can't remember his name.
I was just gonna touch on how how we were saying, like, how did they all know about this, and they all had similar things. Like, we do it now.
I think
we have skyscrapers in New York City. They're in fucking California. They're in.
See,
all
it's limp dicking.
I
Listen,
know.
y'all. We'll fix them up for next week. They won't limp dick. Limp disc it.
Yeah. But I think how that relates, I'm glad you asked that question, because how that relates to like Maslow's hierarchy of needs is essentially, there's food, water, shelter, and then you can start, pontificating on, the development of society, and then from there it's like, you have a pathway to essentially what is enlightenment. And that's when you can start to experience and pursue, higher level thinking patterns like, religion, or, how do you truly become, ascendant of your current means or your current world. So I think that as long as we can, draw the correlation between Pavlov's hierarchy of needs and these implementations that we're seeing, let's say like these monoliths that are something that's not necessary for certain levels of that pyramid, if we can draw the correlation to, hey, at what point in time are we able to, start factoring in the thought process of, these higher level thinking patterns, it's probably at the point where we've reached a level of civilization that you can start to implement that. Yeah. So we just need to find that correlation factor within multiple societies.
To build off of that, this is, and I doubt we're going to find the answer to this because it would be I really don't think it's out there. But I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I'm like, at this point, to get to the point where you're going to try to get a civilization, even if it's a small people of 12 people in a tribe, right? You're going to try to get these people to focus on something, try to find a higher, power, higher spirituality. You have to have harmony. You have to achieve harmony.
Exactly.
And by doing that, you have to make sure you have a core group of people that aren't trying to manipulate each other, that aren't trying to get one over on each other, that aren't trying to throw people under the bus, that understand they're there for a greater good, and that without every single one of the 12, that they wouldn't be able to survive and continue on, and that everybody has a special job, and that job is important, and there's not a single day that goes by that they should not be doing their job. Right? They have to create that harmony to be able to achieve higher levels of thinking and transcendence from there. Which is really, really difficult because, if you've ever managed a team, or if you ever just are trying to just even motivate, I'm going to take it down to a lower level, you're married or you're in a relationship, one of the partners becomes depressed, gets low. It is very, very hard to try to get that other person up, and you're just trying to get one person up. Imagine you are the leader of a 12-person tribe, and now 6 of those people are not believing the vision, 6 of those people are getting lazy, 6 of those people don't want to do their job, 6 of those people are feeling like they want to manipulate, get one over and say, let's go make our own tribe, right?
How do you get those
Biden people
for leading this country into the garbage can?
Anyways, we're focusing on Egypt. How do we get those people to create harmony?
I think harmony only exists in the opposition of, a common, not necessarily enemy, but darkness. So let's say, or of a common disorder or disarray that you can see that you all want to unite against. So that's where harmony comes in. So, just like when 9/11 happened, all of America didn't matter if you were like red, white, black, or brown, except,
we were red, white, and blue then.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there was a common enemy. So whenever there's a common enemy, harmony exists. Yeah.
So that actually going back to the alien thing. Now they were saying last night, we were watching another documentary. Is it real? Maybe not. But they were talking about when the U.S. and Russia were teamed up going to space, all this shit.
Very interesting.
I think it was 1940 or something. They found a spacecraft, Area 51, all this shit. And then
a little bit, because you're not going to remember and tell it right. A little bit after Roswell, they end up finding one in Russia. So Russia and the U.S. teamed up together, and both came to an agreement that the Cold War was going to be fake.
Can we reenact this? You want to be American? I'll be Russian.
I can easily be American because I am.
Yeah.
America.
What part do you want to play?
The alien. So
The
I
alien? Oh,
so
shit.
I decided to crash
alien.
here, right? And so they literally said that this was a agreement between the U.S. and Russia so that they could distract us from finding
what
more
was really
UFOs
going on.
because they wanted the military to start reverse reconstructing ET technology. And so what they said was that they actually, the whole Cold War distracted us so fucking much that they were reverse engineering all of this technology, and that's why we saw that booming of technology right after the Cold War.
Yeah.
So it's like it was mind-blowing me because I'm sitting here thinking, hello, wake up. What else have they been distracting us
Alien
with?
Abby.
I don't know.
Sorry, I am possessed by
COVID-19. Then the aliens
immature
come.
thoughts. All I heard was mind-blowing.
Oh.
It was mind-blowing me.
Yeah, exactly. So are we going to do this reenactment? So Russia and U.S. decided to team up together.
But you think they found an alien or just a spacecraft?
No, they said they found an
Dude,
alien.
so
They said
this
they found
motherfucker
12.
Had
This-
a picture of an alien.
Okay.
Okay, but he doesn't know who this
so,
motherfucker
So you're
is.
the alien.
I don't
You
give
just
a fuck.
crashed.
He's an
Where'd you
alien.
Where'd you crash?
The first one was Roswell and then Russia.
No, you are the alien.
Okay, I crashed in Roswell.
That's not an alien voice.
How does alien speak?
Yeah.
I crashed in Roswell. I am Abby.
Alien Abby crashes in Roswell.
America, guess what? We found this alien bitch. Now we need to figure out how to reconstruct our fucking spaceship so we can do dope ass shit together.
Yes.
How we do this?
We take that alien spaceship, we fly that bitch to the moon. We bring our guns.
Okay, but how do we keep other people from trying to take our spaceship?
We start a fucking war
Okay.
against each other.
I plant submarines outside in Cuba. We take them, you annex them. Okay, then we do deal secretly. No one knows.
Perfect. I love it.
Okay, cool.
Done.
Now we have telephones everywhere, 5G internet, access to infinite information through radio
this
waves
was-
that we
dude.
don't even understand.
Listen to this. This was a fucking military person that had access to Area 51 that the day before he died, he decided to do a video where he leaked all the information, including the pictures. And who's to say if it's real or fake? I don't know. But why would this guy even do that? He kept it a secret all the way until the day before his deathbed.
It was
Why
interesting.
keep it a secret if it's fake?
He said,
You know what I'm saying?
I worked at Area 51. I worked on those spaceships. He literally had a picture of an alien.
So if we're going
He
to go
held it
back
up to the screen. I was like, oh,
right.
shit.
So if we're going to go back
Hey,
and relate
go.
this to Egypt, Nikola Tesla, there was an archaeologist that was in Khufu's pyramid, the very first pyramid built after the civilization that Menes ran, because Khufu was the first one that started constructing the pyramid. So they say.
The king shaft, right?
Right.
Yes.
Anyways, the archaeologist started giving information.
Dirty words.
Right. He was inside the pyramid and he was excavating and started giving information to Nikola Tesla because he was paying for it. And so that's how Nikola Tesla got all of these sort of mathematical, formulas that he needed to construct all these different inventions and ideas. And he was trying to sell them to different countries as well.
He's
But
trying to sell that laser beam to
So,
Russia, anybody.
again,
Anybody who buy it.
let's
25 grand.
let's relate it all back to Egypt.
Cheap.
Kill each other.
Maybe
Nah, it
they
wasn't
did.
at the time.
Shush.
25 grand was a lot.
Stop.
Really?
Maybe they did have aliens. Because again, where did they get that information? We still don't know. We still don't have a clear-cut answer. But the crazy part is, like with all this Cold War stuff and all that stuff, but trying to think about what else we learned last night.
Oh, the crazy part is on a
Night
big
vision.
ball in the middle of the
He
fucking
said that
stage.
one of the aliens, this guy that died, that was a high up military ranking person, he was highly decorated, said that one of the aliens that we got, because he said there's 18 different species, right? Who's to say? I don't know. Again, you can
Reptilians.
think I'm crazy. I'm just giving the information of both sides, But he said that we got night vision from a particular alien that had night vision in his eyes.
Well, so do dogs and cats. They have a level of night vision. Owls, they have reflective
Yeah, dude,
lenses in the back
there's
of their eyes.
nocturnal animals. So, like,
Yeah.
they could have thought a bat was an alien, like, we killed it and took his vision.
We developed sonar.
Or, yeah, exactly. or whatever. Bats on. Yeah,
I
they
killed
do
this
something.
winged creature.
Well, but
That also is a really interesting point, because I also try to go back to my thoughts on like
I mean, a
these
frog looks like a fucking alien.
these hieroglyphs that these Egyptians came up with these different animal heads on bodies. Maybe they were they really extraterrestrials, or were they just playing around with, after they killed animals, what would this look like on top of a human's body? Let's put this dog head on top of a human.
I don't know.
Like, who knows?
I don't know, but that shit's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are real.
Sarcophagi.
There was real fucking humans in those things. At least we think they were.
So that's exactly what you're talking about, Ollie, though. It gets to a point where they end up finding that harmony and decide to start encompassing this type of religion and higher spirituality of an afterlife. And then they decided to start ingraining the tombs and the sarcophagi. Mm-hmm. And that became a very special ritualistic thing for them.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what we're missing right now in like our current society. Is you do have like people that are seeking to revolutionize and make things like just crazy, outlandish things, out of this world things like Elon Musk and Tesla, but that's 10% of the society. I've heard this wonderful quote so many times that about 10% of society does 90% of the work.
Yeah.
And it's so true. In any organization, any job you've ever been in, you know who they are. You know that 90% are slackers, and then you've got 10% that's your core group that's making the needle move.
For sure.
But I think that there's this disconnect now between, the masses and the larger vision. And that's just happening because, the economic shift in America is, you're having have-nots and have-nots and haves becoming more separate. The vision is becoming misaligned. There's no longer a common enemy because the have-nots are now so focused and entrenched in trying to provide for themselves and their families and get money, whereas the haves are focused on these out of this world fucking ideas and trying to get there. But the gap needs to be closed for us to operate.
The gap needs to be closed, but
society.
the gap can't be closed until the have-nots understand that fear is crippling.
Yeah. But that's the tipping point, isn't it? Because you have to be exposed to a certain level of suffering for you to be like, fuck, I can't take it. I don't care if I'm afraid. This has to be done. And that's kind of how Egypt was created. Yeah, because people realize fuck, I'm tired of getting eaten by these crocodiles and these hippos and being out here.
And the hippos are fucking dangerous animals, dude. Super dangerous animals. I can't believe that they were eating those. That was a part of the animals that they hunted.
One of the most aggressive animals in the animal kingdom.
Well,
how many people had to die before they've really caught on and how to kill a hippo?
People in Africa to this day are still scaring off lions off of their prey.
Yeah.
To get that food.
In India, they were saying they're having an influx of lions taking over and killing people. And it's becoming a problem.
Who was here first, the human or the lion? Did we steal their land? Because we probably fucking did, just like we steal everything else.
So we're going to do some diving in from the timeline, moving forward from Menes into Khufu and the first building of pyramids. And I think probably focusing on pyramids, why they were important. And
you said you want to talk about religion.
Well, yeah, the pyramids is the formation.
Pyramids come first. If you're thinking of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
The pyramids came first and then the religion.
No, how would they?
You're right.
Did the pyramid come first or the religion?
We're going to have to find out.
How would they
tune in.
convince someone to build this fucking massive thing with no
Well, that's right, because the whole point of the pyramid was the afterlife.
Right.
It was the pyramid was supposed to be the transporter.
Exactly.
The transporter to the afterlife.
You're going to build this thing so we could fucking talk to Jesus or whoever they fucking believe.
All right, I'm tired of this.
Here we go.
Right, we're going to spin the
wheel
to end the session today. And this is going to be a new little routine of ours, I think. Yeah. We're going to do it some point in the episode.
We end on some silly
and if you don't like it, I don't really care. You can turn it off.
Spin it. Send it.
Spinny. Oh, that was a good one. Holy.
I'm getting dizzy.
The wheel of
biggest
fortune.
pet peeve.
No, you had that last time.
Respin. If it happens again, you're fucked.
You must come up with a different pet peeve.
What's that?
Telephone. We already played that.
We played that game.
Oh
my God.
I'll spin for you.
Okay.
You just don't have good luck. Accent impressions.
We did that.
All right.
We didn't do that.
Right,
we
he
didn't
did.
do accents.
All
I
right,
did
so
do that.
what does this one say?
You didn't. You're right.
Phone a friend. Wildcard.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Ooh.
You're just going to call someone and...
All right,
Yeah,
so I'm going to
respond.
ask a super simple question about Egypt because most people don't have a lot of information.
Wait. No more Egypt.
So what's the question?
This is your time to get to know us.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so just something.
All right, I want you to call the last girl you hung out with
Oh!
and reinstate a date. Yeah, you get another
Do you
book
see
another
what this
date.
says? Phone a friend, wild card.
Yeah, that's a wild card.
Book a date?
Yeah, book a date, dog.
That's
Why would
retarded.
I book a date? I already...
Anyway, so I think he should ask the girl if she learned anything.
Look at
about
him. He's
him.
like, I gotta call a girl. Oh no!
Listen.
Instagram. Do you want to see Ollie call the last girl he hung out with?
That wheel says he's got to do something.
You got to do whatever.
Look at him. Who am I gonna call? I want you to call Dr. Phil and tell him to go fuck himself.
Wait, call who?
Yeah, call Phil.
What am I calling him
Okay,
for?
so I want you to call Phil only because I want to see how well he listens to you and knows you.
Put him
Call
on speaker,
Phil.
and now we can get him on the podcast without him even knowing.
Yes.
This is it, baby. Sorry, Phil. You're going to watch this
So
one day.
what's the most important thing they need to know about Phil? And
No. I want to know if Phil knows something about you.
What?
Well, call him to see if he fucking answers, because he might not. Now we're wasting the
get-
viewers' time.
All right.
We have to know the question.
We
What's
get
the
one
question?
call. One call.
I think it is Phil.
Okay.
And I
What's
think-
the
We decided
question?
on Phil. What's the question?
I don't think it's even a question. I think we scare him.
What
Dude,
did
are
he
you
say?
are you at the gym right now? Someone just came in, and
No.
they called me, and they said they had a consultation with you at 2:00.
I think he knows better. Okay. He's never here on Saturdays.
Oh, don't even tell him we're on the phone. Yeah, scare him. Tell him Nick's here. Wait,
Phil's like, what the? You gonna watch it?
here we go.
Come on, motherfucker, pick the phone up. Pick up.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Hey, Phil. Quick question. Is Nick supposed to be here right now?
Not for me, no.
No? Okay, he's here for some reason. You sure he's not on your schedule or anything?
But, no, I mean, look on my schedule.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't know what's up with that then. That's weird. Anyways, how you been?
I'm doing good, brother.
Okay, good.
You just got punked.
Oh, you guys
Yo, Phil.
dude, I was like, hold on.
Phil, you're on episode 2 of Egypt. We
You're on-
dogged you onto the
You're in
podcast.
episode 2 of Egypt. It was spin the wheel. It was.
We got him on, baby. We did it.
Alejandro got
We
phone a
did it.
friend, Wildcard.
We did
So
it.
Justin said, "Tell him Nick's here for a session."
Yo, put that thing up to the mic. Phil, say hello to the podcast, sucker.
Hello, it's Phil.
What's up, everybody?
All right, we're done wasting your time, sir. We gotta go.
All right, see you, man.
Bye. All right,
Abby,
my
spin
spin.
the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Woo! What color should I get?
What should be phone a friend? Oh.
No!
Yes, you gotta do
I
it.
can't phone a friend. My phone is on Insta right now. I
Gotta
have
do
to redo.
Oh. Hope it lands again.
Too many redos on this wheel today.
We have to switch.
Make a weird noise.
Okay. That's natural. She
Yes.
can easily do that.
I don't know which one to make.
Just do
Just
one.
make one.
Hurry.
Everyone's looking.
Something like. Okay. Perfect. Pterodactyl.
That's that mummy noise.
The pterodactyl
There you go.
noise.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. What does
Yes,
that mean?
it's
So what does that
wild
mean?
card. We can do whatever the fuck we want. That's
I
what it
think,
means.
I think Abby and I decide what you do.
Okay.
What's he got to do?
I don't know. Do we want it to be? I mean, wild card means anything.
Decide!
Whoa!
This is now.
There's the wild card. I flashed the camera.
This is now a double X-rated show.
Oh my god! All right. So what do we want him to do?
You guys got 5 seconds.
It has to put him out of his comfort zone.
3,
Oh,
2,
damn! Too bad you didn't have chocolate covered
One.
strawberries.
Okay.
Shut up!
go.
You
I
don't
got
get
one.
to decide the time, the countdown. What is it?
Okay.
I'll let you know if it's uncomfortable
It
enough.
doesn't matter. You get one chance, motherfuckers, because this episode's about
Shush.
that and no one cares.
What is it?
We don't have anything that he doesn't
Oh
like.
my
Like,
god.
he has to try new food. That's what I would have said. But
Yeah, we don't have
any.
food to eat, bro.
Hmm.
What is a wild card? I just flashed the camera. I made it up myself. And I
Well,
ain't flashing the
say
Johnson,
that.
baby.
That was
Sorry.
your wild card. You don't get to make up your
It
own
is.
wild
It's
card.
my spin. Hurry up.
All right.
No one's gonna watch this episode.
He has to text someone random, like someone in his contacts. He has to say something really embarrassing about himself.
Text a
Like-
random person.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
hey,
well, no.
like, hey, I just shit myself. Can you come
Hey,
pick
have you
me
ever
up?
sharded before? Quick question. How do you clean
No,
it?
let's make.
Yeah.
Wait, this will be really funny.
I need your advice.
Here.
I've shot myself in the mall. How do I get out of this situation?
Oh my God, Phil just. All right, so look at Phil just texted me, guys. This is his response to the call. He goes, "My life just flashed before my eyes."
Oh my God.
I was
didn't
like,
act that way on the
no
phone, though.
way.
He acted so nonchalant. He's like, no, he's not
Look
there.
at him. He
We're
said,
like,
I was
"He
like,
is."
no way. This is not happening.
I'll go through his context a little bit. Let's see.
Yo, we don't have time for this.
We definitely do
motherfucker.
have time
Dude,
for this.
scroll and select. Just scroll and select.
I think you should text your. I think you should do something embarrassing. Text his dad because I don't think his dad's listening right now. So what should we have him text
No
his
one's
dad?
listening. This is not live.
Exactly. What should he text his dad?
I already said.
Did you ever sit down when you peed?
I just shot my.
I'm doing it.
All right, that's equally good. That's
Have
equally
you
good.
ever sat down when you?
All right, guys. You can see my phone. Where's that camera? Here, we'll switch it to this one so you can see it. All right, there's my daddy. Have you
I think you should tell him you got a
Ever.
portrait of my face.
sat
Oh.
down
On like his
and
body.
peed? All right, you guys see this?
Have you?
Sat.
Send. Sorry.
Now
We'll
we're
have
gonna
to send an
see-
update of what he says.
No, we have to see if he'll answer
he's
within
not
the next 2
gonna answer.
minutes.
He's
We're gonna
probably
finish
out.
This episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and throw this shit up on here. Our socials, TikTok, Facebook,
Tiki
Instagram.
tacky.
It's somewhere. There we
Ended
go.
on a cliffhanger.
Boom. All right,
I know.
cliffhanger.
We'll never get to find out what Justin said.
Has my dad ever sat down and peed? I would say yeah. I mean, usually when you poop, you pee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You sit the
It's
poop.
super convenient.
Yeah.
If you got to poop and pee, do it together.
So that was a horrible thing when you
Right.
made up your own wild card. That's not even.
I
the same.
didn't. You took too long, dude. I did 2 wild cards. I flashed the camera and I texted him.
The thing is,
No one's
you're
seen the
too
Johnson
wild. Like, the only thing that would make him uncomfortable would be food. Everything
I hate
else,
it.
Justin doesn't care. He would do it.
All right, he's got like 2 minutes to answer, but our socials are down
Ollie,
here.
I gotta. All right, bring in some crickets
There.
for the next time. So Justin can eat a cricket.
There they are, right there. Socials. Yeah. Yes. Right there.
So you see it. You can find us on Instagram at absfitness_Brandon Florida, and we have a second absfitness_Brandon Florida #2 on Insta. Facebook is absfitness LLC. YouTube is absfitness Filmhouse, and TikTok is.
Your mother's ass.
All right. Well, it's not. It is actually.
Abs Fitness Tampa.
If you watch Joe Dirt, da llamada sao,
Oh.
pow.
All right, on that note, we're going to end the episode.
Nope.
Unless Ollie has anything else to say.
Ollie's info.
Yeah, trainer_Torres, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Boom. Da
Got it.
llamada sao.
That's a good idea. To make
Pow.
them all the same.
Yeah.
That was
You
really
say
dumb
that
of us.
every time.
I don't think you can change it now. Fuck it, you guys know him. Go to him.
Pow.
See you next week. Make sure you watch. And if you don't, well, that's your own problem. Goodbye.
Peace.